I took the mayor back to his home, helping him walk up the stairs to his bedroom. He was still in shock and disbelief at what just happened. The theology just visited the planet demanding more resources and taxes on the already heavily taxed populace, and the mayor tried to persuade the theology to no avail. 6 months is a short time, not even enough to grow and harvest crops. 6 months from now is the month of Sundew. If we want to pay our tax, all of the people of Iskar have to work double time, which is impossible since almost all the populace were of old age. Even if we were to pay in time, there is no telling when the tax would be reduced, quite an impossible ordeal. As I tucked the mayor in, I noticed Tixon by the door of the room, standing there staring at us, as if wanting to say something but cannot find words to say. As I walked out of the room shutting the door behind me, I say to him, "I am sorry, Tixon, for the display of weakness. Is this how your world is treated?" Tixon asks. "Come with me," I say to him. We exited the mayor's house, as we walked through the green meadows, farmlands and scattered houses towards my tavern by the dock. We entered and the door creaked and moaned. The inside of my tavern was much less decorative than the mayor's house, old stools, tables and old floating lights. The bar stool fared no better, aching and withering due to age. "Sit here," I said to him, as I walked towards a small double door behind the bar leading to the back. I poured 2 tankards of Nell, a staple beverage in any bar. I walked out the double door again holding 2 tankards. I saw him looking and seemingly admiring the decorations, but more importantly, while I was at the back, he took off his helmet and set it on the table. This was the first time I saw him without his helmet. He had fur above his head and eyes. Speaking of eyes, he had a pair, totally different from us having 2 pairs on both sides of our head. His eye color was green, rare in our species. His nose was slightly elongated forward, while ours were simply holes on our head above our eyes. We had no fur on our body, so his fur was a surprise. His mouth stored white pearls of some kind. I could not tell as I only caught a glimpse. His flesh was slightly pink, while ours were blue. I sat across from him. The table was smaller than the one at the mayor's house, so I could really see the difference in size. I gave him one of the 2 tankards I was holding, and I immediately consumed the beverage. This pour gave me a buzz. Newly fermented Nell saplings tend to be stronger the fresher they are and tend to lose it the longer they ferment, leading to a more fruity taste. As I put my tankard down, I could see Tixon looking at the drink. I could tell he was unsure whether to drink it or pass. He dipped his finger in the tankard and licked it. That was the sound he made before drinking the entire tankard dry. I just stared at him in awe. Impressive, no one has ever drunk the tankard dry. On that note, are you okay? I asked, genuinely asking if he was okay. Most would pass out before finishing the drink in one go. I'm okay, though the alcohol in this What do you call this? Tixon asks. It is called Nell. It is a standard beverage in taverns like mine. This particular one is newly done, so it is a bit strong. Left long enough it loses the buzz and leaves a fruity drink, I answered. Ah, this Nell is incredibly tasty, though the alcohol is on the lower side. 6 of these might be enough to give me a buzz, Tixon says. What is this alcohol you talk about? I ask. This, he answers pointing at the empty tankard. Okay, let me ask you, you have fruits, correct? He asks. Yes, we do, I answer. Then what do you call a drink made from those fruits? He asks. You can make drinks out of fruits. Juices from our fruit taste bad, that is why we don't make drinks out of fruit, but you do. I ask, with curiosity. This thing you call Nell gives you a buzz, correct? He asks. Yes, I answer. This is what we humans call as alcohol. Anything that gives you a buzz is considered an alcohol, he says. I see, but how does one create drinks out of fruits? I ask. Ha ha ha, looks like you got a lot to learn from us, my friend, he says laughing. The tavern went silent for a long minute as I slowly finished my drink. Tell me, Edgar, those people that came here, I overheard your talk, you let them treat you like this? He asks. It is the law of God, the priest are the embodiment of God's will. Anything the priest say is the word of God himself. Besides, what can we do? We are just some backwater planet at the edge of the unknown, I answer. It has been this way as far as I could remember. When the Empire came for our species, the theology fought with us against them, and absorbed us. My people were displaced and I was lucky enough to be a part of a colonization effort due to my actions during the war, but even so the theology is no different than the Empire. Their nobles treat us as peasants, they send us to war not caring if we lived or die. The only difference is that the Empire outright kills those different than them, I added. Forgive me, it seems the Nell is doing its thing. You must be exhausted. You can sleep in any of the bed upstairs free of charge, I said to Tixon. I will gladly take you up on your offer, thank you, Tixon says. Tixon stands up, takes his helmet and heads upstairs. I hear the door opening then closing. I took the tankards and put them in the sink behind the bar before going through the double door into my room in the back. The bed felt softer than usual and after a few minutes of laying down, sleep took me. Commander Tixon. As I head towards the door, closing it behind me, my helmet chimed. I put it on. Commander Tixon, report, Admiral Tarvik asks. The locals are non-hostile, it seems this planet is friendly. I could not say the same for the government it follows. From what I have gathered it seems the government is some kind of theocracy. Information is still scarce so we may not have the whole picture, I answered. Good, continue gathering information, said Admiral Tarvik. Sir, if I may? I ask. If this is about helping the people, forget about it, we cannot afford to be found out, not while our drives are fried, the Admiral remarked. Sir, we do not know how long it will take for the drive to be fixed. Would it not be more beneficial for us to establish a good relationship with the planet? I ask. If we meddle in this conflict, chances are we would be dragged into a war we were not meant to be in and I would like to bring back the fleet intact, the Admiral answers. I understand, sir, but did we not swear an oath to protect those that cannot protect themselves, to help the weak, to keep the peace? I ask. Do not quote me on my oath, my job is to make sure we all make it back alive, the Admiral retorted. Continue your mission, Admiral out. The call cut to silence, and Tixon sat on the side of what looks to be a bed. LT, he calls. Yes sir, the LT answers uncloaking from a corner of the room. Take your team, and investigate the planet, prioritize documents and books, start with the mayor's house. I'll give you a month, can you do it? He asks. Yes sir. We will keep you updated, the LT answers. Good, begin the mission, he commands. What will you be doing in the meantime, sir? The LT asks. I guess I'll do some farm work, he answers. 3rd Fleet Flagship USS Bastion's bridge, few hours before jump malfunction. USS Bastion, all preliminary test came back green, says one shipman. Power and munition at full, says another shipman. Report from engineering, core fluctuation detected but overall she's combat ready sir, says another. Coordinates planted, waiting for your order sir, the navigator says. Attention all ships. This is Admiral Tarvik, all ships report. The Admiral was sitting in the center of the bridge surrounded by shipmen looking at data, reporting any and all anomalies in and around the ship. Battle Group 1, coordinates set, all green Admiral. Battle Group 2, all green and ready sir. Battle Group 3, set and ready Admiral. Battle Group 4, all set ready to go. Reserve, lock and loaded. Engage drives, he commands. White glow enveloped the bridge and all braced for a long ride ahead. After the initial burst of speed after engaging warp drive, the bridge was now stable enough for people to walk normally. Admiral Tarvik walked toward a railing in front of his seat. It had a large pad in the center displaying the current status of the ship. He looked at it and all sectors showed up green. 6 hours till we're out of warp drive sir, says a shipman. Good, I'll resign myself for the night. First hand you have control, Tarvik commanded. Yes sir, the first hand answered. The Admiral went out of the bridge and as soon as he turned towards his room, General Tarvik, someone called out from behind. The Admiral spun around and saw his old friend, Commander Tixon. "You're still alive?" Tarvik says jokingly. "Well, when you're good at your job, you tend to live a little longer than most," Commander Tixon says jokingly. Both walked towards each other and gave each other a hug. Commander Tixon, being the larger of them both, lifted Admiral Tarvik a few feet above ground, before putting him back down. "Well, my friend, what have you been up to all these years? Seems like you're doing well. How's the family?" Tixon asks. "Well, my youngest is actually about to graduate from naval school, the oldest is running for governor position on the council, and well, my wife's still at Earth," the Commander Tixon answered. "What about yours? Judy still trying acting?" he added. "Yes, she still does actually, though she is working for the central bank. She did get a gig as an extra in a movie once," Tarvik answers. "That is fantastic. I sure do hope she doesn't forget about his godfather when she becomes famous," the Commander Tixon says. "How about a drink?" "My treat," Tarvik says, inviting Tixon. Tarvik buying me a drink. "Tell me, what did you do to the real Tarvik?" "Ahaha," the Tixon says jokingly. Later at the bar, both the Tixon and Tarvik were talking, telling stories, all the while drinking hard whiskey. 1 bottle, 2, 3 bottles they finished. It was good 2 hours before they rested for the night. A few hours passed, when suddenly the ship started to creak and moan. Red lights were flashing, indicating an emergency. The Admiral in his bed immediately stood up and ran to the bridge, haggard and wearing night attire. The door opens and the Admiral comes in. "Report," he shouted. "Engineering reports a core malfunction. They are working to fix it. Computers are malfunctioning, unknown cause. Sir, navigation is also busted, unknown cause. We are working to fix it." "How much time till we're out of warp drive?" Tarvik asks, while walking toward the railing with the large pad. "Calculations before malfunction said around an hour, sir." The Admiral looks down at the pad. All sections of the ship show red. This is not good. The core is the heart of the ship. It has top priority. It needs to be fixed first. "What's the status of the C-dash?" He was cut off. The ship rocked hard, as if stopping suddenly. All of the crew fell to their knees. A loud bell-like sound resonated from nowhere, all instinctively covering their ears. It was loud, very loud. They could make out something aside from the bell, a soft whisper of words: "Chosen, found, light," it said, before the white glow again enveloped the bridge. The Admiral was on his knees, and began to stand. The sound was gone. The glass in front of them showed the void of space, a familiar sight. He stood up looking at the pad again. This time all sectors were green, indicating no signs of malfunctions nor damage. "Report," he commanded. "Sir, all computers are working again. Engineering reports core as stable." The Admiral was confused. All sectors of the ships glowed red and were suffering from problems just a while ago. "Navigations, report," he commanded. The shipman looking at the navigation screen, his eyes were wide. Sweat poured down to his pale face as he responds, "Sir, navigation reports, you unknown coordinates." All at the bridge stopped and stared, as if time stopped. The Admiral told him to repeat it again. "Navigations report, we are in uncharted territory, unknown coordinate." The silence was broken when the rest of the Third Fleet came after them. "Hailing all ships, report. Battle Group 1, warp drive fried, sir. Green everywhere else. Battle Group 2, warp drive non-functional, sir. Still getting reports for injured. Battle Group 3, warp drive is dead in the water, sir. Minor damage to some sectors. Battle Group 4, few minor injuries, but warp drive got damaged, sir. Reserve, warp drive severely damaged, sir. Our warp drive as well is fried as well, sir." The Admiral was in disbelief. All the fleet's warp drives were damaged. What hit us? All the ships seemed to be intact. Asteroids? No, tests had been done and it was impossible for an asteroid to hit them. Besides, no damage to hulls could be seen. Anomaly? Could be. If so, this is something new and foreign. What else? Tarvik thought. His thought got interrupted a few seconds later. Planet detected, sir. Air seems to be breathable. Civilization detected as well. What's our course of action, sir? Asks the shipman. That was the moment when Tixon came into the bridge confused. What is happening? He asks. Tixon, you studied diplomacy, right? Tarvik asks. Yeah, 2 years before changing majors. Why? And also, where are we? Tixon asks. We do not know. To summarize, we are lost, Tarvik answered.